Okay, we're gonna start at page 104. How good are you at managing conflict? Answer the question in this quiz, then turn to page 135 to find out your score. Compare with a partner. Number one, you are in a meeting. People cannot agree with each other. You A, B, C, D. We will you'll choose only one in our team and calculate only one score. It is okay. Then what we'll choose in question number one. I think no one will choose A, and maybe B or D is okay. What will you choose between B or D?
Actually, I chose B.
D?
We are in a meeting.
Then we'll choose B. Number two, your two closest friends have an argument and stop speaking to each other. Do you this is C. I think we have to choose between B or D. Because A and C, then we will lose both or only one friend will left between me. And so I think maybe we could choose D and compare the situation for both one. And we can solve the problem. So how about choose D?
I think D can be easily solved problem. Because when we choose B, they will fight again.
B?
So if we choose B, then they will fight again, I think. So D can be.
I said I will choose D. Okay, so number three. Number one. Wohyun choose the number one, and I choose number two. So number three can be choose by Myonghwan. Can you choose number three question?
Number three question.
Yes.
I chose B. Call the police.
Oh, okay. Number four. Boram, can you choose number four?
I choose A.
A.
Yes.
Okay. And number five. Konu, can you choose number five?
We'll choose number B.
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 Okay. And number six. Junjo, can you choose number six?
Choose number. I choose D. Ignore them.
Ignore them. Okay. We have to calculate our score. We got
20?
20 points.
20, I think.
Okay. And we'll move on to page 105. A. Complete the noun and adjective columns of this chart with the correct word forms. Use the dictionary to help you if necessary. So patience, adjective is patient, and what is opposite adjective of patient? We need the dictionary.
impatient,
Variant.
Impatient.
So who said what? As opposite of patient? I can't hear well.
impatient,
Okay. And calmness adjective form is just
Calm.
calm,
And weakness adjective is weak.
Weak.
weak,
And flexibility is
Flexible.
flexible,
Flexible.
what is opposite of flexibility? Flexible.
inflexible,
Yes.
And emotions adjective is emotion.
Yes.
And opposite
Emotion.
adjective is what could be opposite of emotion?
Rational.
Rational.
Rational. Okay. And consistency's adjective is consistent.
consistent,
Consistent.
Consistent.
And opposite is
inconsistent,
inconsistent. And sympathy's adjective is sympathetic.
sympathetic,
Sympathetic.
And opposite is just unsympathetic, maybe.
Yep.
I think.
The formal noun form.
Formation.
Formal.
Or
More. Okay. And enthusiasm's adjective is
enthusiastic.
enthusiastic,
enthusiastic. What is opposite of enthusiastic?
Apathetic.
Opposite. Okay. And creative's noun is
Creativity.
creativity,
and opposite is what?
Creative.
In creative. Okay. It, we'll move on to D. Complete the sentence with one of the adjectives from exercise A was opposite. Number 2, she always has ideas and easily finds solutions to her problems. She's very
creative,
Creative person.
okay. And he never shows anger, enthusiasm, or disappointment during a negotiation. He's totally
Calm.
calm,
okay. And he always agrees with everything his negotiating partner suggests. He's
consistent.
Okay, we'll move on. I told him I was feeling really bad, and all he asked was, "Will you be able to meet the deadline?" How can anyone be so... It's hard.
Opposite of sympathetic.
Okay, I agree. Okay, and then he likes people to feel comfortable and relaxed during a negotiation. He's very thoughtful person. Can he be? His It's very something. She keeps changing her mind all the time, which makes her very difficult to negotiate with.
Flexible.
Flexible.
Mm.
We'll move on. T, A, B, C, T. Page 106. First, talk about an example of conflict you have had and how you resolved it. How many of the methods and exercise C did you use? Maybe I will give you some minutes and you guys can set the conflict that you have had. I'll give you two minutes. It's okay.
Excuse me? Could you tell me what pages?
106. Part D.
E?
T.
Okay.
I will start. My friends will fight between something like some project. When they're doing some project, they have fights. So I heard both stories, the two sides of the stories, and I delivered each other that, and I uh, I make an adjustment between these stories, so they finally understand each other, so I can solve the conflict and can do it. Hono, are you ready?
Me? Yes. Yes. When I was in high school, I was a leader of the club activity. So there was a lot of problem about purpose of club activity or between team members. So if a problem happen, I collect all of members and discuss about this problem. Yes. How about Myungwon?
When I was in the army, there were many conflicts with my senior, but I've never solved the conflict. I always lost because I was low level. Uh, how about Ohyun?
Actually, when I was in high school, there were fights between my friends. So uh, I thought that if I listen and tell to each other, then there might be some misunderstanding. So I just gathered that friends, one place and have what should like let them tell each other about their feelings. I think that's what I usually solve problems with my friends. What about Junso?
I have a fight with my friend, but I had a fight with my sister, older sister. So after fight and after, after a day of fight, we get along as if nothing happened. Just time has gone. How about Boram?
In my case, I had a conflict with a friend who was late a lot. We agreed to buy a coffee if we are late.
Everyone said about conflict. Then we'll move on to part A. When does joking or teasing become bullying? I think maybe when the people who get joking or teasing feel really bad, then it become bullying, I think. Is there any other idea? Okay. We'll move on to part B. In pairs, think of as many sources of conflict at work as you can. Out of one, and you guys get all one source of conflict. I think maybe pay, the salary they get, can be the reason of conflict. And next.
I think speaking in bad ways, like if someone tell in some bad ways, they feel hurt. Listener feel hurt, and that time they have conflict with each other.
Next.
In my opinion is conflict of opinion.
Next. You guys have to all have to tell one reason of conflict, source of conflict. who did not tell?
Reason of conflict? Difference of the opinion?
Junghan, did you talk about this?
죄송한데 어디 하는 거예요 지금?
Okay. Junghan, can you tell about the source of the conflict?
The heavy workload given to the staff.
Okay. Did everyone tell about the reason? Okay, we'll move on to part C. Read the article on the opposite page quickly and see how many of your answers to social B are mentioned. We have to read the article in page 107, I think. I'll just read quickly. Intervening quickly in case of conflict. Managers should be sensitive to when teasing starts to become hurtful. They should be prepared to stop in and have a quick word with the team members involved. The managers should inform those involved that while plenty of people is encouraged, it's important than this. There is respect for other people, and then certain standards of behavior are expected at work. The manager should have noted examples of the types of behavior or language that have been used and that are inappropriate at work, so that those involved will understand when what is unacceptable. It's much easier to make this conversion as soon as the manager starts to have concern about behavior or early signs of conflict, to prevent habits from being formed and to ensure that the manager is taken seriously. It's much more difficult to be respected if a manager appears to accept certain behavior by letting a situation continue for weeks or months. If professor said something, then someone can tell me, please. Dealing with conflict directly. Taking action to manage conflict can appear quite boring to some managers, but it's an essential part of their role and responsibilities. When managers ignore unacceptable behavior, problems will get worse until the disciplinary process has to be used or a formal complaint is made, by which time it will be much harder to achieve the successful resolution. Some potential sources of conflict at work are obvious, such as too much personal use of the internet or email, poor attendance and timekeeping, any form of bullying behavior, any form of discrimination, unacceptable language, theft, drink or drug problems. However, frequently it is the less obvious behavior that over time is, if not confronted, will lead to workplace disputes. Examples of less obvious type of dispute include taking credit for other people's work or ideas, interrupting people in meetings, not inviting team members to social evening or events, not covering for people when they are sick, not taking message for people, using someone else's contact without permission, not including people in group emails, ignoring people or being impolite, or personal hygiene. Managers should not ignore problems that are developing in their teams. It is vital that line managers have regular informal one-to-one conversations with the people they manage so that these kids or issues can be discussed naturally where possible. However, managers must also be prepared to begin informal discussion if they think a problem is starting to develop. Conflict at work can lead to absence, so return to work interviews are also a good opportunity for managers to ask questions about any conflict issue that might be worrying employees. So we'll move on to part D at page 106. And read the article again and answer the question. Is everybody with me? So number one, what should managers do when teasing start to become hurtful? Johan, can you answer this question?
Sorry, I don't know this question.
Then anyone? Is there anyone know about this? You can find the answer at the article at page 107.
Maybe taking action to manage conflict directly.
Okay. And B, number two, why should managers note examples of inappropriate behavior or language? Ram, can you answer the question, please? Okay, we'll move on to page 107. E and F, find word in article that mean the opposite of this word. Like appropriate's opposite is
Inappropriate.
inappropriate, and acceptable's opposite is
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
and polite's opposite is
Polite.
Impolite.
and formal's opposite is
Informal.
Informal.
and have you ever been involved in any example of conflict in the article? Would you feel? I never worked at companies, so I don't involve the conflict in upper article. Maybe ignoring people or being impolite can be one of the example I accepted. I would feel really bad, but the people who did this kind of thing was older than me, so I have to just ignore the people do. Have you ever been involved in this conflict?
Actually, there are people who are poor, who has poor attendance and timekeeping. Actually, I don't really like the people who don't take care about the time, because if I go in the right time, but if I have to wait, then that really irritates me. So, but usually this happens with my friends. So nowadays, I also go late together. So, but for the company thing, I think it can be a really big problem to be late. So maybe I will tell them not to late.
Okay, and number two, we'll answer the question by 2 to 2. And number two, what behavior at work would you feel inappropriate or unacceptable? Junso, you answer this question.
Ignoring people or being impolite is acceptable. Top top managers ignore low manager. Yes. So this is acceptable.
Okay. And Boram, can you answer number 2?
In my case, there is someone who is late after drinking. This is okay.
We'll just move on. Number 3, how would you deal with these problems? Youngman?
I think sufficient conversation seems to be the most important thing. Okay.
Yes. In case of timekeeping, maybe giving some fine if do not timekeeping is best way to deal with.